Welcome back to Range Anxiety TV, and today we're going to discuss what one big beautiful bill does to the future of America and of course our highly intertwined futures. Now, the big beautiful bill, over 1,000 pages. Look, I'm not much of a political person, but I know it's designed to do a lot of things to the EV industry, the renewable energy industry. Basically anything really progressive is going to be thrown in the bin, and there's going to be great subsidies or continuing subsidies for oil and gas. But if you're solar or wind or battery powered car, nick off. Of course, that's great if you like gas burners like this old LS here. Sounds like it's done a cam bearing, Gareth. Fix it. Overall, it's not a good thing. So all of your big time EVs, or any of them actually, are going to be $7,500 more than you would be able to buy them for up until the end of September 30. Then that $7,500 tax concession gets taken away and you're paying more for them. Now, you know, that's going to hurt a lot of cars. Let's have a look. We did discuss Rivian, but Rivian are going to be in trouble for sure. 100% they're going to be in trouble. Well, can't help you there. Bad luck, I suppose. The Mach-E Mustang. You know, people, hey, that's not a Mustang, that's a SUV. And I kind of agree with them. It's not a Mustang. Mustangs leak oil. And we could laugh at it. Can't remember. And lots of it normally. That's made in Mexico, so it attracts a tariff. And it's a EV. So tariff, 7,500 extra. And Ford are already losing around 30,000 US per vehicle on every one they sell. Why the hell would you continue trying to sell and build that stupid thing? Put it away or make it leak oil or something like that. And my favourite, the Cybertruck, that's going to be 7,500 more. However, Tesla might be in a bit of a better position here because they make a higher margin and actually a positive margin per vehicle. So they may be able to absorb some of that $7,500. Elon was always big in saying that he doesn't really need that federal tax credit. Look, let's not be stupid here and let's have a look at the numbers. It's going to hurt Tesla, but it's going to hurt the competition more. So competition aren't making any money to begin with, right? So overall, it might knock out a lot of competition and that'll be great. What about our poor little Slate? Remember the Slate? Justin, I'll get you to put up a picture of a Slate. That whole thing being 20 grand, it was all dependent on the $7,500 tax credit. And now it's basically just a skateboard without a radio or whatever it's got. It's just going to be too dear. It's going to be silly, you know. So when fresh innovation like that gets killed, don't like it. Don't like it. You know, even the big Hummer, you know, they're actually basically giving those things away now for $500 a month on a full lease because no one's buying them. But that's all going to change because the lease loophole with the $7,500 tax credit dries up. So no one's going to buy those gargantuan darn things either. Bit weird. And of course, this administration in America is doubling down on gas and diesel. They like that noise. You know, it's a little kid's rattle, isn't it? What's that? That's my DOD lifter, Daddy. I suppose kids got to learn somehow because you're putting LS in everything, don't you? No. PHEVs, as we call them, will continue because they've got a gas engine and they're going to keep the dealers afloat. You know, all those guys that never make any money out of any car yet all have houses in Aspen. The dealers, the franchise dealers, will be looked after that way because they'll be able to run service departments. It certainly comes in helpful when you're buying your new condominium complex. They'll continue, but if you have a look up here, because all of the solar and battery rebates over there are gone, quite the opposite to Australia, and they were talking about putting a tax on solar and wind projects. I mean, how stupid is that? While subsidising oil and gas projects. Solar companies took a bit of a steep dive there on the share market, and the real risk of this, you know, the outlook for big battery storage is kind of bleak. There is some backup for battery manufacturing, but there's very strict local industry target, you know, component requirement. It's very, very tough too. But what this all has to do, you see, nobody's stopping China. You can put up a nice picture of the Chinese leader smiling, plenty of that online. And he's smiling, right? He's not just smiling, he's laughing, because while America say no to progress, like from a technical point of view, I'm not talking about politically or societally or anything to do with that. China are pushing ahead in the other direction. And so what we're going to have to ask ourselves, this age-old question is, are we going to do more and progress further by looking backwards than we will by looking forwards? And the answer will be in about 4 or 5 years' time, once all the renewable projects in the US are wound back to basically very few and very little, and they're relying on burning as much coal and oil and gas as they can. The answer is going to be there, and I fear it's not going to be a good one for America, because once you're 5 years behind in this exponential growth curve of energy and transition in transportation, it's very, very hard to catch back up. So should America continue down this path, it's going to make things a bit more difficult for all of us, but maybe isolate them and make them more isolationist, and make the world more dependent on future-looking technologies from China. So, look, I don't know what the answer is here, but it's not good. And I can tell you one thing, absolutely 100% for sure. It's not going to be a big, beautiful bill. People always tell me I'm good at bills. Did I tell you that? I am good at bills. People say it all the time.